Hi guys, Kim Cash here. Yesterday I filmed making some cookies and a basket and filling it to take it to my neighbor's house. But my memory card ran out, and so I'm just going to do a little bit of something else, and then I'll tell you about that, and I'll have a little bit of that too. But what I'm doing today, well, first off, it's the day before Valentine's Day, and so I just wanted to say Happy Valentine's Day, Happy Galentine's Day to everyone. Galentine's Day is for all my girlfriends out there. And what I'm doing right now is I've baked 2 heart-shaped cakes. This one cracked a little bit, so I put some frosting on it to use it as glue. Frosting is like a glue. And then I put it in the fridge to harden the glue, or the frosting. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I have this cake leveler, which I got at Joann's. And as you can see, you can move the wire. There's a wire here. I don't know if you can see that. But it makes it so that when you cut your cake, you're going to be cutting it very level. And that's one thing you want to do. So I'm going to cut off the top of the cake, and then I'm going to use the leftover, or the part I cut off, mix it with some frosting, and make some cake pops. You can see some of the, well, you can see one of the cookies I made yesterday. It was just a fun one. You'll see some of the other ones too. But I also had made these cake pops that I want to be able to ice with some white chocolate and then put sprinkles on it, and I'll put it on top of my cake. So let's just get started. And I'm just cutting off the top. And the cake is chilled from the fridge, and so it should not crumble as much. If you cut cakes when they are out of the oven, they're just going to crumble like crazy. So always chill your cake a little bit first. I'm going to have to move the wire down just on the cake. That's fine. So I'm cutting it with this serrated little wire and just moving it back and forth slowly so that I don't rip the cake all to bits. And it just takes a minute. And when you get to the edge, you want to kind of press the cake on the top. But be careful of your fingers, of course. And there you got this extra piece. And I'm going to put it in this bowl. I'm going to mix it with some frosting, and that will make the mixture for my cake pops. And when you mix cake with frosting, it's delicious. I'm just going over it again just to make sure it's pretty level. Okay. And then after I get this all done, I'm going to put a crumb coat, which is a layer of frosting on the cake that just locks in all the crumbs, so that when you put your real layer of frosting on, there aren't crumbs all over your cake. So you put the crumb coat on, you put it in the fridge to chill for a bit, about a half hour, and then you put your final coat on. But I'm probably going to do some fondant too. I've got some, I'll show you, some pink fondant. And I do not make my own fondant. I've only made it once, and I was really unhappy with the result. So now I just buy fondant. So those are pretty level. I'm just going to go over it one more time, because you can see a little bit. And over here. I got to be careful of the part where it crumbled when it came out of the oven, which is right over here. But you can always touch it up with some frosting. Frosting can disguise a multitude of issues. So I'm going to just flip that over. And then I wanted to show you guys, it was the frosting. When I buy frosting, this is just a Decorator Preferred Fondant. I got it at Joann, Craft and Floral, and they have a lot of baking supplies. So it comes like this in a box. You could buy a package that has multiple different colors. And this one is just pink, to make some pink hearts. So that's what I'm doing with that. But now I'm just going to put a quick crumb coat layer on my, this is leftover from the cookies yesterday. And I'm just going to put the crumb coat on. You want to flip it upside down so you get the more solid side of the cake. You could put a little dab of frosting on the turntable to hold it in place. Okay, so I ran out of frosting, and I did get my crumb coat on the cakes, but I need to make some more frosting, so I have about 1/2 of a cube of butter, and I've got my powdered sugar, and I'm going to use about 1/2 a package of powdered sugar with the butter, and probably about a tablespoon of milk, a little bit of vanilla, just maybe a teaspoon. I sometimes add lemon. I like vanilla and lemon flavors. But anyway, I'm just going to mix that up, and then I'm going to mix the frosting from that in with the leftover cake that I cut off and make my cake pops. But first I'm going to run the, I have an extra fridge in the basement, so I'm going to put the cakes down in the fridge to cool while I make the extra frosting. Okay, so I've kind of crumbled up the leftover cake. And what I'm going to do is add some of the just made frosting in here, just to, it's kind of the glue. This is the glue that sticks everything together. So I made an extra batch of frosting, and I added in just a dab of frosting. I'm sure I'm going to have to add a little more. And then I just mix it all together. And this is how you make cake pops. And what I'm going to do is, after I put them on their little, what do you call these things? These little popsicle sticks, or cake pop sticks. Then I'm going to dip them in some melted white chocolate, and then I can let them kind of settle and harden a little bit, and then I'm going to add sprinkles to them. So I'm just going to mix this up now, and then I'll start that process. Okay, so you want to make the cake dough, cake pop dough, kind of like, it's like a dough. It sticks together. And then what I'm doing is just forming little balls and sticking the little handles in it. And then I'm going to dip it in chocolate. So I'm going to just go ahead and stick all these sticks in, and then I will show you the next process. So I've formed all my little cake pops, and now I've melted some ghirardelli white chocolate just in the microwave, and now I'm going to dip the cake pop in here, let it drip a little bit. I'm going to try to get it all the way covered. The only problem is if they get too heavy, they'll fall. And then I'll put it right here to settle. Okay, so I put some white chocolate around the stick and the cake pop and let it get chilled in the fridge. And now I'm just going to put the white chocolate over it. So I just dip it in here, and then I'm going to put some sprinkles on them, which I'm just going to use this bowl to catch the sprinkles so I don't make a huge mess. And I can reuse the sprinkles that fall into the bowl. I think I'll just set them in a, oops, they're still dripping. my second layer of frosting on. A lot of times 2 layers will do it, but this one didn't. So I'm going to put another layer on. And I think the frosting now is a better red. It's very hard to get a good red. It takes an awful lot of food coloring. Okay. So now I can start decorating my cake. Using some of my cake pops and my cookie pops. I'm going to frost a couple more of these. So there you have it, my Valentine's Day cake with my heart-shaped cookies and my cake pops. It's going to be one sweet treat. So if you guys enjoyed this little cake baking episode, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like cake baking and crafting, then or writing, then please subscribe to my channel down below and click on the bell so you'll be notified when I do another vlog. And thank you for watching, and I hope you guys all have a sweet Valentine's Day.